Dear class 7 student, I am going to finish the chapter The Kite Maker. In the last video, I have discussed and introduced about the people and also about the kite maker. Here, the kite actually today children are not well acquainted with the sports of kite flying, but in the early days, not too far away in the past, kite flying was at that time was a sport, and also the kings were also interested. Here the old man, whose name to be found to be as Mahmud, he remembered how the Nawab himself would come down to the riverside with his group of people to participate in novel pastime. In those times, kite flying was sports. They were regarded as sports, and there were competitions. And according to the competitions, there was time then to spend an idle hour with gay dancing strip of paper. Now everyone hurried in a heat of hope, and delicate things like kites and daydream were trampled underfoot. Nowadays people are very busy now. Some people even don't know about the use of kite and about the sports of kite that happened to be played during the early days. Here the old man Mahmud, the kite maker, had in the prime of his life being well known throughout the city. So Mahmud, the old man, was famous in this time. Why? Because he was an excellent kite maker in those times, and people know him well. Some of his more elaborate kites once sold for much as 3 or 4 rupees each time. In those times, 3 rupees or 4 rupees was too much in those times, because he used to make kites so detailed, so elaborate, that people liked his kite and they used to buy by paying high price. At the request of the Nawab also, he had made very special kinds of kite, like unlike any that had been seen in the district. Nawab used to request Mahmud to make kites in such a way that the kite would be unique. It consisted of a series of small, very light paper discs trailing on a thin bamboo frame. So to the end of each disc, he fixed a spring of grass, forming a balance of both. Remember that the structure of the kite, having 2 bamboo sticks, very thin bamboo but strong, able to hold the kite along. To hold the piece of paper, this is the piece of paper, 2 bamboo sticks are used. These sticks are called as twine. And the flying of the kite and the kite making depends on the twines that is used, and also the paper. If the twine is strong enough, which will hold a piece of the paper so strong that the kite would fly very easily. And here along a cut, and in this place along a cut, from the back side, thread is tied, and the thread is connected to the reel of threads, which is strong enough to hold a kite flying. And when there is a wind and the kite fly to a little height, then by the gust of wind the kites start to fly, and this reel has to be loosened up, so allowing the thread to go further, and the kite will go further and higher. So this is the technique of flying the kite. So here everyone had heard, and also once Mahmud had made a kite which was named as dragon kite. Everyone had heard of the dragon kite that Mahmud had built, and words went round that it possessed supernatural power. So in those times, dragon means having supernatural power. Even the Chinese, the Japanese used to think of these mythical creatures having supernatural power. A large crowd assembled in the open to watch its first public assemblies at the first attempt. You can see in page number 25 about the dragon kite has been made. A small sketch is given, and there are many dragon kites which have been built in various festivals in China and Japan. You can go to YouTube and search for the kite. Okay, the very base of the structure of the kite is this only, and many other trails are used to give a different shape of the kite. So a large crowd assembled in the open to watch its first public launching in the presence of the mob. So at the first attempt, it refuses to leave the ground. Having a big kite and flying is difficult. Flying is difficult. You need to learn to fly kite. At one instance, you cannot fly the kite. You have seen children making a kite and tie a thread and run as fast as he can, and he continues to running, but he don't know how to fly the kite, how to put it into the sky. So it is difficult. You need practices, and you also know you need to understand how the wind blows, and according to the blow against the wind, how you fly the kites. So at the first attempt, the kite was not leaving the ground, and this made a plaintive protest. That is something which sounds slightly and sad, but whatever it is, making the kite a living, complaining creatures. Then the wind came from the right direction, and the dragon kite soared into the sky. It started flying into the sky after the second attempt, wriggling its way higher and higher. Wriggling means moving, giving a vibrating movement like this, wiggling like this, and the kite is going higher and higher. The kite makes like this sign, movement. Whenever you fly the kite, you have seen the kite wriggling its way higher and higher. The sun still glinting in the devil's eye, and the sun still gleamed devil's eye, and when it went very high, it pulled fiercely on the twine, and Mahmud's young son had to help him with his reel. So in those times, Mahmud's sons were young enough at this time. Mahmud had sons. It is found that Mahmud has two sons, but also in the same time it is said that Mahmud is alone. Now in those times, the time were more leisurely, more spacious ways, but now the Nawab have died, the time has gone, and his descendants were almost poor as Mahmud himself, because the Nawab, nowadays no Nawabs are there. Kite makers like poets once had their patrons, but no one knew Mahmud, simply because there were too many people in the gully. So gully means the locality where Mahmuds live. In the past, people knew about Muhammad, but now there were too many people in a gully. Say people could not bother with their neighborhoods, and they were not interested about the neighborhood, and the identity of Mahmud has lost. Okay, so when Mahmud was younger and had fallen sick, everyone in the neighborhood had come to ask about his health. When he was young, when he was sick also, so everyone in the neighborhood, as he was a popular person, everyone come to seek his information, that how if he is look or about his health or not, good with his health or not. But now no one visited him. Most of his old friends were dead, and his sons had grown down now. His sons, I have said that his sons are grown up now. But at that time, there was a partition. That is, you can understand when you study in social science, in history, that is in class 9 and 10, you will understand about the partition of India and Pakistan. Pakistan was once a part of India. So at the partition, one of his son could not rejoin his relative and he had to stay back in Pakistan. The children who had bought kites from him 10 years ago, those children who had bought him from 10 years ago, they were now grown men struggling for a living now. When you will grow up, you will also struggling for your living. You are living at your parents' home under the patronage of your parents, and your parents are taking care of yours. So you don't understand about the practicality of the nature, practicality of the life. But when you grow up, you have to be earning. You will find yourself struggling for earning to maintain your status, to maintain your standard of living. So this happens in this time. Children at that time were bought kites. They were not caring about their future, whatever it is. They were playful children. They were playing, and then they did not have time now. When they grow up, not when they are grown up men, for the old man and his memories. They had grown up in a swiftly changing and competitive world, and they looked as the old kite maker and the banyan tree with the same indifference. As I have already mentioned before, that there was a mosque, old mosque, and from between the walls of the old mosque there a banyan tree was grown. And the banyan tree was as old as the mosque. So with the same indifference, the banyan tree was quite compared to the kite maker, old kite maker. So both were taken for granted, that is the banyan tree and the old man. Permanent fixtures that were of no concerns to the recluse, that is unpleasant, sweating mass of humanity that surrounded them. No longer did people gather under the banyan tree to discuss their problem and their plains. Only in the summer month did a few seek shelter from the fierce sun. So these are the words that has been given to the strength of the lesson, to the strength of the paragraph, that you will understand the gravity of the situation in those times, what had happened until now, what is happening. But in this hard time, the old man has his grandson Ali. It was good that Mahmud's son worked close. That means one of his son, as I have told, one son went to Pakistan, had to remain to Pakistan, but the other son was working close. Okay, for its gladness, the old man's heart towards the small boy, that grandson, was looked upon by Mahmud, and by looking towards his grandson, the Mahmud's heart gladdened at play in the winter sunshine, growing under his eyes like a young and well-nourished sapling. That is, sapling means a small plant, sapling, small plant. First seed is planted, and from the seed, when small plant is grown, it is called a sapling, putting forth new leaves each day. There is a great affinity, that is something which sounds slightly sad. Again, sad things between trees and men. We grow at much the same pace if we are not hard to starve or cut down. That means nowadays earning and living and earning for living has become quite difficult, and about 30% of the population in India are in a state of starvation. Starvation मतलब भूख में रहना पड़ता है, खाना नहीं मिलता है, 2 वक्त का खाना नहीं मिलता है. So this is also flashed upon in this chapter. In our youth, we are resplendent, having a very bright and splendid. Yes, you are in your youth and you are having a bright and splendid living creatures. And in our declining years, that means when we are growing old, like me, we stoop a little, we remember, we stretch our brittle limbs in the sun, and then with a sigh we shed our last leaves. Brittle limbs, that means that limbs, suppose our hand, our legs has become brittle, that means we become weak as we are real, and we cannot work hard, and we should be under the guidance, we should be under the care of our young ones. And if your young ones fail to earn a proper living, then how they can take care of us? So the old people's life deteriorated and their ending life goes very difficult. Mahmud was like the banyan, that means the old tree. Mahmud was on the old plants. His hands gnarled, rough and full of knots due to old age. Gnarled means, you see, this is my hand, as I am quite, I will not say that I am young, but still my hand is quite, has a surface, a smooth surface. But when I grow old, my skin becomes like this. This is gnarled, rough and full of knots. Knots means many such kinds of structures has formed out here. Okay, so Ali was like the young mimosa planted at the end of the quarter. Mimosa is a kind of plant which grows, okay, at the end of the quarter. In 2 years, both he and the tree would acquire strength and confidence in their early youth. So in this way the days were going on, and Mahmud, though he has become old, by looking Ali, that his grandson, he gladdens, his heart gladdened, and forget his suffering. The voices in the street grew fainter. The Mahmud wondered if he was going to fall asleep and dream, and he, as he so often did, of a kite so beautiful and powerful that it would resemble the great white bird of the Hindus, Garuda. That means, in Hindu mythology, God Vishnu's famous steed means, that means a horse where Vishnu used to ride on, especially in a sense of mount, and the name of the horse is Garuda. So it was like the kite, so beautiful, the kites were beautiful and powerful, and it looks like Garuda. He would like to make a wonderful new kites for little Ali. That means now Mahmud does not make kites for others to sell it, because no one is interested to buy the kites, but Mahmud's skill is so that he can make kites for his little Ali, and he love to make kites for little Ali. He had nothing else to leave the boy. Then in distance, when Mahmud was asleep, he heard Ali's voice in the distance, but did not realize that the boy was calling him. The voice seemed to come from very far away. Okay, but actually Ali was nearby. Ali was at the courtyard door, asking if his mother had as yet returned from the bazaar. That means bazaar means market. Bazaar means market. Some Indian terms word has been given in this, so that you understand. So Ali's mother had gone to bazaar for doing some market, and Ali was asking to his grandson grandfather to Mahmud, that if his mother arrived or not, returned or not. When Mahmud did not answer, the boy came forward repeating his question. The boy was repeating, but Mahmud's response was negative. Mahmud was not responding. The sunlight was slanting across the old man's head, and a small white butterfly rested on his flowing beard. Mahmud was silent, and when Ali put his small brown hand on the old man's shoulder, he met with no response. That means Ali put the hand on the shoulder, but no response was on. The boy heard a faint sound like the rubbing of marble in his pocket. Suddenly afraid, a small sound. He is somebody laughing when the marble rubbed in his pocket, crock, crock, whatever, like the sound. He heard a sound. From where? I think so, from his grandfather. Suddenly afraid, Ali turned and moved to the door and ran down the street shouting for his mother. As he was afraid, the butterfly left the old man's beard and flew to the mimosa tree, and a sudden gust of wind caught the torn kite and lifted it in the air. That means the kite, the torn kite, that means the kite which was caught into the banyan tree. Again that torn kite, because of the wind, though torn, it start lifting into the air, carrying it far above the struggling city into the blind blue sky. So here we can term, that is not directly mentioned here, we can understand that Mahmud at this time is dead. He have departed from his body. His soul has departed from his body and he's dead. Ali could not identify that Mahmud is dead or not, so he got frightened and he started running towards to find his mother. So this is the chapter, a quite hard chapter. You go on reading this chapter is quite harder, and if you don't understand, you do ask me. So as I have already provided you the answers, and homeworks has been given, that is from page 27, vocabulary A and C, suffix. So do the homework and submit it. Thank you.